Hello and welcome to Off the Mark IP Solutions. I am attorney LaConya Murray, the owner and founder of this Off the Mark brand, where we help clients throughout the United States with trademarks, copyright, and business development solutions. And now we help you with patents as well. So we are now a full IP firm. So if you have trademark, copyright, or patent questions or issues or need help, definitely call Off the Mark IP Solutions. Our number is 334-523-0022. Let me brighten up my situation. How is that for you all? Oh my gosh, I am going to, before we get started, I'm going to share this out. I think I am. Let's see if I can share this out, and then we're going to get started because man, this is bananas. It's crazy how people will try to profit off of other people, like work that they didn't do. Here it is right here. I'm sharing it public. And I'm sharing it in my group. Let's see. You want to launch? And hey, that might be me that I'm looking at, but let me see. I think that I'm sharing it in the places where I want to share. Let's see, one more place. Boom. There we go. All right, I have it shared. And if you will all share this video, we're going to not only talk about Cardi B's situation, but you're going to learn a little bit about trademarks, do's and don'ts in this session too. So if you guys are new to Off the Mark, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have been here before, then you absolutely know my favorite thing to do is to give real life examples when it comes to trademarks so that you all can have a better idea of how trademarks work. So first things first, what is a trademark? So trademarks protect brand identifiers, that is the source of a good or a service, meaning that if you, I don't know, just pick up the statute. Let's say you're going shopping and there's this statute here and it's by, it's no name on here, but let's just say it's by, I don't know, Home Goods, right? And you know that you've shopped at Home Goods before, you love their brand, you are all about some Home Goods. You will know that this is a good thing to buy and what you're getting. Let's say someone else sold something similar to this, right? Maybe not the same quality, and let's say it's No Good, right? The name of the brand is No Good. So if you aren't careful and you purchase a no good product, then you won't be getting what you expect. So that's one of the things with the marks. What it does is it lets consumers make informed decisions about their purchases, and that's with goods and with services. And so that's why I want to jump on today and talk about this. And I just really want to give a shout out to my business bestie Falash today, who gave me a call and was like, look, have you seen what's going on with Cardi B? And so I spent the last little bit hour or so doing some research about this situation, and it really bothers me. So let's just jump into it. So the first thing I found out, so if you go into trademark clearance search and you do a search for Cardi B, you're going to see that there are 8 applications that are pending or dead with Cardi B. Out of those 8 applications, there might be 1 application that's really her. Just 1 out of the 8. 4 of those 8 are from Fashion Nova. Fashion Nova, the online fashion company, clothing company. I've never purchased anything from them, but I do know they're very popular, and they do have celebrities that endorse them. But in order to file a trademark for a person, you have to have their permission and their consent. So what they did was they filed an application, and then they got an offense action. So an offense action is basically USPTO's way of saying, hey, something's not right with this application. We need you to look at it. We need you to fix it, or else your application is going to be refused. So let's just take a pause for a minute just to talk about this process, this trademark process. After you file your trademark application, it's going to sit in USPTO's database for 3 months. It's just going to sit there until an examining attorney is assigned to that application. And then once they get it, that attorney is going to look at that application to make sure that it's not similarly confusing to someone else's application. That's just one of the things they look at. They look at a lot of things, and one of the things in this application they looked at, they noticed the name Cardi B. So they said, okay, Cardi B, we know who she is. I mean, who doesn't? I just saw where she was the only artist in 2018 to have 3 records, sell over 500,000 or something of that nature. But they saw her name, and it's like, okay, so maybe it's not similarly confusing to someone else's, but is there a connection between her in these service or these goods that you're providing, or are you just trying to use her name? So they sent out 2 office actions to Fashion Nova. One of them was for the name consent, and the other one was for false connection. So anytime, and this is whether you're famous or not, anytime you are using a name of a living person, you have to have that person's consent. You have to have their written consent to use their name. Even if it's your own name, they want to know that you have permission, that you're giving permission to use that mark associated with goods or service. So that's number 1. Number 2, if you can't do that, and that name is something that's very popular, is a person that is well known, then the second thing they're going to hit you with is false connection, because what you're trying to do in that case, in the case of many of these people, is make a connection between the product or good that you're serving and this well-known person, and that's not good, because it's giving consumers that's what these trademarks are all about. It's like, how is the consumer going to take it? What are we going to expect? And so if we see Cardi B's name with Fashion Nova, we're going to think that Cardi B and Fashion Nova are hooking up and maybe coming out with a line together, because that was the first thing I thought of when I saw it. So, well, maybe Cardi B is coming up with a line with Fashion Nova. You know, so that's thing number 1. And when you guys come in, I see a couple of people in. When you come in, you can say hey in the comments. Make sure you share it, invite your friends. We won't be on long. I just really wanted to make sure you know, because this is not, so Fashion Nova is a big company, right? Fashion Nova is a big company, but Fashion Nova was not the only person that tried to benefit from this. There was a random person. There were 2 random people. One for clothing and one for entertainment. Both of them got the same office action. You know, do you have her permission? Where's the consent? And if you don't, then you're making a false connection. And there's one company I'm not 100% sure about whether or not it's owned by Cardi B or not, but some of the links are suspect, like links to her YouTube channel, and basically what they've done is just downloaded old Instagram videos and uploaded to YouTube and saying this is her YouTube channel. So I feel like out of those 8, maybe none of them are actually owned by her. And if someone tell me, if y'all watching this video, if you can tell me if she owns a company called Wash Poppin', that would help me out in determining whether or not she's applying for at least one of these trademarks. That would be great. But so the bottom line is this. You cannot file a trademark application just because you see somebody is popular. I remember one time a friend of mine, there's a basketball player that played for Kentucky, and he had a nickname. And so they called me, it was like, hey, I want to trademark such and such name. Before, you know, I see he's going to be hot, he's going to be popular, I want to go ahead and trademark before anyone else does it. You cannot do that. You can't do that. That's what I want to tell you. And there were some other issues with these applications too, because there were so many people that filed, and they filed around the same time. Hey, Felicia Day, they filed around the same time. What happened was now you have pending applications. So for the one application that might be Cardi's, it's actually pending now. It's actually suspended because you have to wait for the other applications to get resolved. You have to wait for them to be fully denied before this will be resolved and she can go on registration if it's her. That's if it is her. We have to see. And the reason I think that it's not her, because again, they asked the applicant whether or not this is in connection with a living person, and they said no. If Cardi had something to do with it, then she would have said yes and would have filed the name consent, and boom, that's it. The only thing she would have had to do is wait for this other application to fall off before she can move on, and then she can move on with registration. But they put no, which puts, sounds alarm bells going off, because again, why would you put no if this is actually you? You would just say, yes, this is me, and file the consent. But because there was a prior application, this is why I tell people all the time, when it comes to trademarks, once you determine that you want to file a trademark, that this is a brand that you're going to move forward with, that you want to protect, then you need to go ahead and do it, because what it ends up costing you can cost you more money in the long run, because you might have to fight it, or you might not be able, someone might beat you to the punch. So like in this case, several people beat her to the punch, so now she has to wait for those applications to resolve itself before she can move forward. So let's say it's your application. You're not Cardi B, and we're not dealing with a name issue or a person issue. Let's say you just both file applications around the same time and you have similar marks, right? Because that other person beat you to the punch, if they get their application, now that means that you won't get your application. So again, I know that trademarks are an investment, but they are really, really worth the investment if you are building a brand. Trademarks secure your place in the market. It's not, I tell people all the time, it's not just about your logo or your name. It's not about that. People are attracted to that, but they are attracted to what that represents. It's kind of like a person, right? When you see someone, you're like, oh man, that person over there looks really good. And then you get to meet them, and they can be either really crazy, and you're like, oh yeah, this is not what I expected. Or they can be really cool, right? And you're like, okay, yes, I want to get to know you better. And that's the same way it is with brands. Excuse me. You want to protect that brand because they are connecting with everything your brand represents. So when you're building your brand, yes, get your logo and make sure you get a nice name, but also pay attention and spend some time on the details, meaning what are your values? What do you stand for? What are your customer service policies? Those things matter because when people interact with you, those things matter. You need to know what type of reputation that you're going to have. Are you going to have quality products? Are you going to have quality service? People talk. That's why people spend money, so you just want to make sure that your underlying brand is taken care of when you go and invest in trademarks. Does that make sense? You guys let me know in the comments. And I know that I'm not on my regular time, and I'm actually streaming live from my Facebook page, our business Facebook page, rather than in the group. Normally when I go live in the group, and that's for Ask Me Thursdays, which we have one going tomorrow, really. Tomorrow is Thursday, so if you're not in the Beyond the Launch Facebook group, make sure you join, because tomorrow we're going to talk about how do you protect short phrases, lit, fleet, and other stuff that were popular. And some people feel like the people that created those things should have been compensated because of how popular they are. Well, let's talk about, can you do that? And if so, how do you do that? Like, what do you need to do? A lot of people have these shirts and things that they want to make with these cute phrases, or maybe they have a cute phrase associated with the service or good they're providing. How do you protect that? Can it be protected? So that is tomorrow's Ask Me Thursday that we're doing. Just want to make sure, yeah. So that's all that I have for you all today. I just wanted to share that really, really quickly to let you know that, and if it can happen to Cardi B, as popular as she is, just think, it can happen to you too. It can happen to you because you don't know. People think, well, she doesn't have the money to defend her trademarks, so I'm just going to use it. Who is this person? I'm just going to use their mark. I'm just going to use something similar to, oh, that looks really good. I want to do something like that. So if it can happen to someone like Cardi B, where all eyes are on her, right, it can definitely happen to you. So if you have questions, if you want to talk to me, definitely contact my office. You can go to iProtectBrands.com to contact us, or you can call us at 334-523-0022. Another shout out to my business bestie, Falasha Day. And we were just talking about this, like if all this is messed up with the trademarks and no one monitoring and shutting it down, like what does her accounting look like? You got to make sure that not only is your legal set up, but you need to make sure that your accounting is set up too. So when business, it's not just about, oh, I have a product and I have a logo and I'm about to, make millions of dollars, but you want to protect that brand that you're making that millions of dollars under, and you want to make sure that when you're making that $1 million, you get to keep as much as you can, so that's why you need an accountant. So that's all I have today. That's all I have. So thank you so much for joining me. If you're catching the replay, make sure you let me know that you're catching the replay. And if you like these live videos, let me know, and I will consider going live on my page as well as in the group, maybe alternated a little bit. If you found this information useful, make sure that you like it, love it, and share it. Okay? Talk to you later.